Hello, me again with another one of these Flames of Orion battle reports. In the last video, we did One Man's Trash, which was Squadron Row versus the Tech Bros of XetaCorp, and they were trying to collect as much loot as possible. So we got one final battle report, which is the last combination of squadrons against each other. So we're going to see how that happens in this battle report, which is called Precious Cargo. So let's take a look at the mission. So we're going to do Capture the Cargo. In the forsaken recesses, a trove of ancient technology lies untouched. Though you are not alone, beware for other twisted souls draw near, summoned by the allure of lost relics. Just decided I'd do a voice. Is that all right? I did a voice deal with it. It happened. Yeah. So what happens here? It's kind of very similar to the scenario we had in the last battle report, where basically the mechs need to move around the battlefield to collect something and carry it off. In this case, there is only one thing. There is the single cargo container, which goes right in the center of the map. And basically what happens, mechs can move into this, they can pick it up, and then whoever's carrying the cargo at the end of the 5th round wins. But while carrying the cargo, you move a lot slower, you generate extra heat for moving. But if you get destroyed, kind of like we had with the loot in the last scenario, you get destroyed, you drop the loot, someone else can come pick it up. And spoiler alert, that happened quite a lot in this battle report. So let's go into this there and have a look at the forces who are involved. So these are ones we've seen in the previous videos. If you've seen those before, you'll be familiar with them. But we've got Desert Fang. This is kind of like the assault faction, I'd say, just because they're kind of quick and close range. So we've got Sandstorm. Sandstorm is a heavy mech. He's got an incinerator, which is like a super good flamethrower. He's also got a power weapon, so he's actually got like a dedicated melee weapon, and then a medium weapon, light weapon, and improved servos for moving a bit quicker than a heavy mech should. Dust Devil has got an AI missile system, which basically lets him attack things that are out of line of sight. It's got high X rounds, so it does more damage. He's got a medium weapon and a light weapon. And they've got Sunburn, who's got a flamethrower and a close range weapon, so he likes really getting up close. He's also got improved servos, and means he's quicker. And most importantly for this match, he has a geo scanner, which means at the start of the match, before like the first turn, he gets to make a free move, though in exchange he takes some heat, and that was really critical here. That really sort of helped really decide how the whole match went, really. And then finally there's Hotshot, who's just a light mech. He's got a medium weapon with incendiary rounds, which is also going to be very important in the upcoming match, and just a light weapon. He also has a basic melee weapon. So that's Desert Fang, and they're up against XetaCorp, who are like the techie faction. So we've got Skyscraper, who's a heavy mech. He's got a rapid fire weapon, which just can fire multiple times a turn. It fires like 2 shots at once, so you get 2 attack rolls with it. You can also use it multiple times a turn, which is again pretty good for that, because that came up in the game. He's also got combat targeting systems, which means he is better at shooting. His combat score is higher when he shoots, which is also very good. Cascade has got a cluster missile system, which it's meant to have hypersonic rounds. I've left that out, so that's my mistake. Basically means he suffers no long range penalty for shooting, and it's like a AoE attack, and it can do quite a lot of damage. And they've got Plague, who is looking to sort of redeem himself for a very poor showing in the last match, where he he died by having things collapse on him. So he's got a medium weapon and a light weapon, and he's also got his signature cyber warfare system, which didn't. He only got one chance to try and use it in the last match, and he actually managed to use it a few times in this match. I'm spoiling a lot of details, but yeah. So the cyber warfare system lets him target a mech and makes a roll, and on a success, they can only perform a single action on their next activation. So it just limits what they can do. And they've got High Five, who's got a rail weapon, which is a rail gun. It shoots in a straight line, hits everything in a straight line, which is pretty cool. A light weapon and a tactical uplink, which means he can mark a target, and it's easier for allies then to shoot that target. So yeah, that's the forces. So very different in what they're trying to do. One is XetaCorp are definitely far more shooty, and Desert Fang are a lot quicker and like getting up close. But we'll see how that works in a mission where everyone's trying to fight over a single piece of precious cargo. So let's take a look at the battlefield. So in my very first battle report, I did a 2x2 area. In the last one I did 3x3, so for this one I went for 2.5. I sort of did a compromise here, and this was actually a really nice size, actually like 30 by 30 inches, really nice size, and then sort of like just generic desert terrain here as well. So that's from nowhere particularly special, unlike the other terrain I've used in previous videos. So that's the deployment. Everyone just kind of in a line here, pretty straightforward. And then the objective in the middle there, the precious cargo, which was here underneath the angel statue, ready to be picked up. And as I said, Sunburn has his geoscanner, which lets him make a free move at the start of the game. So he did that. He generates a heat for doing that, but he is straight away within striking distance of going to pick that up. And yeah, as I say, that really set the tone for the game going forward. So yeah, we'll see how that unfolded as we go into round one. Okay, so round one, Desert Fang won initiative, which was pretty huge because that meant Sunburn could just immediately double move, go up and grab the cargo, and immediately start running back to his table edge. With the idea of fleeing off the table edge and basically securing the victory straight away. Unfortunately, this meant he just paints a huge target on his head. Basically says, you know, like, deal with me now. I'm priority target. Otherwise, you lose. So it was a real risky gamble. It was a big aggressive play. But, you know, as I say, it really helped determine how the game was going to get played out, and it certainly, you know, got things moving straight away. So then Skyscraper, because he had to, basically, like, he has to shoot at Sunburn. It's like such a high priority. So he fired with his rapid fire weapons. He managed to get some damage on Sunburn, maybe not as much as he liked, but yeah, he moved forward and he fired his rapid fire weapon, got a little bit of damage there. Hotshot then moved forward. He took a shot at Cascade, but he missed, which is a bit unfortunate. And then, so what happened here was then High Five was at the back here. He then took a shot through the cover with his railgun. So that was pretty useful. He managed to get like some more damage onto Sunburn here. So everything was just piling onto Sunburn because they had to, because it was I say, it was such a priority target. If he gets off the board, you know, potentially XetaCorp are going to lose on turn 2 or, you know, 3 at the latest, really. So everything had to go onto Sunburn to destroy him, so he would drop the cargo, because there's no other way of getting the cargo unless you destroy who's carrying it. So yeah, High Five did that, and then he stuck a targeting link onto Sunburn. So the next XetaCorp mech who shoots at him gets an extra +1 to hit him, which is going to be really useful. And then we had Sandstorm coming forward. It just fired off a shot at Plague, because Plague hasn't acted yet. So it's like, okay, well, we can try and get some more damage on one who's not acted, you know, even potentially destroy him. And he did a really good amount of damage. He got a critical hit with his medium weapon, and you know, knocked Plague down to, you know, essentially below half health before he even managed to do anything. So once again, Plague just continuing to have really bad luck in these games, unfortunately. So then Cascade, he took his action, fired his cluster missiles at Sunburn. Thanks to the targeting link, he managed to hit, and he got even more damage onto him. So Sunburn was down to like basically only like 2 health, like straight away, because everyone had piled into him. Because, as I say, because they had to, otherwise, you know, they were going to lose. And then finally, Dust Devil came forward here. He took a shot at Skyscraper with his AI missiles, managed to do a little bit of damage there, start just like chipping away at him, so that's absolutely fine. And then finally, Plague decided to take his action. So yeah, we thought what would be fun if you use the cyber warfare system onto on Sunburn, because then what that does is it means he can only perform 1 action on his next turn, which means then he can only move, you know, at half speed, because, you know, while carrying the cargo you're moving slower anyway. So this was just a chance to try and slow him down. Unfortunately, that didn't work. Rolled really low on the cyber warfare, and that's big as well, because you can only be targeted by cyber warfare either, whether it's successful or not, only once per game. So yeah, that was the one chance to try and slow him down, and unfortunately went wrong. And then he fired with his other weapons and just unfortunately missed. So yeah, Plague had a really bad start there. So yeah, even though Sunburn's taken a lot of damage, yeah, like Desert Fang, the rest of them are pretty unmolested. You know, they've got the cargo in their half of the field, so even if Sunburn is destroyed, someone else can like run forward, pick it up. So yeah, this is like already, I feel like XetaCorp are already on the back foot here. They're like, you know, they all had to kind of stay where they were to like get as much shooting done as possible into Sunburn. So yeah, they're really off to a bit of a bad start, honestly. And that's how the stats are looking at the end of round 1. So we'll see what happens as we go into round 2. But if you know, if Desert Fang get initiative, you know, Sunburn can make a run for home, and then he's nearly off the table edge. So potentially a very early win for Desert Fang. But we'll see how that happened as we go into round 2. Okay, so round 2. Thankfully, the more interesting thing happened, and XetaCorp got initiative. So, went to XetaCorp, who had a clear line of sight here to Sunburn, all hopes resting on him. He's basically got to do 2 damage to Sunburn to destroy him, make him drop the cargo, and then XetaCorp actually got a bit of a chance. So, XetaCorp went full double actions, like fired everything he could, went all out with the rapid fire weapons, sort of gained a bunch of heat to try and do it, but it was absolutely necessary, and it paid off because he managed to get enough damage onto Sunburn to destroy him, which meant Sunburn drops the cargo, which means now anyone else can run in and grab it. So now XetaCorp have got a bit of a chance. However, that cargo is still in Desert Fang's kind of half of the map, so they've still got the advantage, but at least now there's a bit more of a chance. Like it's not as certain now, their chances for winning, because if Desert Fang had gotten initiative there, Sunburn would have just moved, like got behind cover, and then there would have been a real chance they would have won a lot earlier, honestly, than turn 5. So yep, cargo was dropped and ready to be picked up. So Sandstorm, what happened here? He moved forward, decided to get a bit of revenge on XetaCorp, fired all his weapons, including his incinerator, which actually managed to hit and inflict a whole bunch of heat. Managed to hit with the medium weapon as well. So at the end of it, XetaCorp actually took a fair bit of damage and also a fair amount of heat, so he's running quite hot now. So what happened then? Plague repositioned as well, just behind XetaCorp, mostly to get out of line of sight for other things, and decided to do cyber warfare here on Dust Devil, because Dust Devil was actually quite close to the cargo. So there was a chance here again. If we can slow him down, only perform 1 action, it's not ideal. He can still reach the cargo potentially and pick it up, but at least that's all he can do. He can't also shoot, do damage, anything else like that. He can't do a double move. So this actually was okay. The cyber warfare actually succeeded at slowing down Dust Devil for a turn. Hotshot then came forward, took a crack at XetaCorp with his incendiary weapons. He missed, so Hotshot really just not achieving much in this game, which is a real shame, because I have a fondness for Hotshot. I really always want him to do well. He always feels like the underdog on Desert Fang. And then what happened here was pretty interesting. So High Five, because he's a light mech, he's actually quite nippy. He did this huge double move, so he was right at the back of the map. So he did a huge boosted double move, which meant he could move 17 inches, I want to say, so almost the entire length of the map, and he got like right in here. So this was like XetaCorp's big play here to try and sweep in and grab the cargo, at the very least have someone positioned to come and snatch it away. However, as I said, Dust Devils could still perform actions, but you could only perform 1 action, and that was all he did. He just moved in and grabbed the cargo. But now you've got High Five there, ready to if Dust Devil's then destroyed, because he will be now, because again he's picked up the cargo, he's high priority. Again, XetaCorp are going to focus everything on him. Once he drops it, you've got High Five here ready to swoop in and snatch it. And also this thing now, because it's so far back in Desert Fang's territory, it's near a board edge. It doesn't matter which board edge someone escapes off, as long as they're off the table, that's absolutely fine. So it could come back and bite them. And then, this was the last thing here. So Cascade also then just took a shot at Dust Devil to start getting damage on him. Unfortunately, he missed, which is a bit of a shame. So that's how the movement went over here. So say Dust Devil's got the carrying the cargo now, and then that's final stats at the end of round 2. So Sunburn's been destroyed, XetaCorp running really high on heat, and so Sandstorm, High Five's running high on heat as well, running his big double move and firing his railgun. Pretty exciting. Things are really escalating. So we'll see how that carries on as we go into round 3. Okay, so going into round 3, XetaCorp once again gets the initiative. Bit of a weak start to the turn, honestly. So Plague went first and decided to make a start by firing everything he had at Dust Devil. Unfortunately, missed everything, which is a real shame. Then, failure followed failure, basically. Tried to then do cyber warfare on Hotshot, and that failed as well. So a real complete whiff of a turn really from Plague. The cyber warfare is really disappointing. I might have to look in to see how it can be tweaked, because it can be very strong, but also it feels pretty rubbish to spend a whole action and achieve nothing. But I suppose that's always the risk when you play any kind of tabletop wargaming. You have to deal with dice, I suppose. Anyway, so Dust Devil, all he did was double moved because he wants to get as close to the table edge as possible, put as much distance between himself and everyone else, carrying the cargo, and then he can potentially escape next turn and again secure the win. But again, that's all he did. He's on a massive target paint on him. All he did was double move. He's kind of running hot as well to do those double moves. So he's got full health. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Well, so Cascade took a shot at him and knocked off a couple of hull points, so there's that. So already down to only 4 health. And then Hotshot here, he took a shot at High Five. He missed again. So Hotshot really actually a little heartbreaking that Hotshot and Plague actually really hadn't achieved much this game. It was a real shame, honestly. But then what we had here, so Skyscraper had Dust Devil like quite clear in his sights and just really opened fire like with everything. Again, so wrist running really hot, like generate a whole bunch of heat to fire multiple shots with the rapid fire weapon into Dust Devil again because he has to, otherwise Desert Fang are going to win next turn pretty much. And it paid off. So he managed to inflict enough damage. He got 2 critical hits from the rapid fire weapon, and that was enough to destroy Dust Devil. So that's 2 kills now from Skyscraper. And once again, the cargo was dropped ready for someone else to pick up. But as I say, Skyscraper was running really high on heat, so he was at 7 heat. So there was a real chance that in the heat check at the end of the round, if he rolls a 3+, then he overheats and then he's destroyed. So it was a really big gamble. But again, it had to be done because otherwise they're going to lose if Dust Devil's carrying the cargo and he managed to get off the board. So Sandstorm, unfortunately, he was kind of in a rubbish position here, even though it was really tempting for him to either like take a shot at High Five or fire his incinerator at Skyscraper and sort of get extra heat on him and kind of force an overheat. Basically, he was at really high heat, and there was nothing he really do without putting himself really at risk. And like now that Desert Fang are 2 mechs down and XetaCorp still got all 4 of their guys, had to kind of make the I guess like the more boring sensible play with here, and Sandstorm just purged heat. He lost a whole bunch of heat, which meant he was then ready for the kind of next turn. There's kind of a thing I like in Flames of Orion here where you can really like what happened with Skyscraper, you can push it here and generate a bunch of heat if you really need to make that big play. But then there are times where you have to play it safe and purge heat, and it's really interesting, the heat system. It does make games of Flames of Orion, I think, really tense as you do this whole kind of risk reward. You take these big gambling moves. Really interesting, I think. Anyway, so High Five had the cargo in his sights, and he was moving towards it, so he was going to go pick it up next turn. So yeah, because it's completely unattended now. So yeah, again, another sort of death there. Say Desert Fang down to only 2 members now, so now they're kind of on the back foot. You got High Five like right next to the cargo as well. So yeah, suddenly picking up and running all the way back to their table quarter, suddenly not seeming like such a wonderful idea, honestly. And that's the stats at the end of the round there. So Skyscraper didn't overheat, actually managed to roll really low on the heat check. So yeah, that was actually kind of lucky. So he gets to stick around for another turn and still help out his guys going into round 4. Just want to say as well, if you are enjoying this battle report, and if you have enjoyed the other Flames of Orion battle reports, consider subscribing to the channel and supporting me so I can do more of these battle reports, either for Flames of Orion or for other tabletop war games in the future. Who knows where it will go. So round 4, and Desert Fang get initiative this round, so they're able to maybe try and stop XetaCorp stealing the win from them. So Sandstorm charged into High Five here, and he actually managed to hit him with his power weapon and did some pretty decent damage to him, and most importantly, this locks him into combat. So now basically High Five has to take a special disengage action to kind of get out of combat without taking a free hit and stuff. So it does slow him down. Again, it might be enough. We'll see. So then what happened here? Plague came forward and decided to take a shot at Hotshot. So it was tempting to do something with Skyscraper, but he's on like maximum heat. as it's just like, oh, he's either going to purge heat or, you know, spend the turn doing nothing, and you know, it's fine. So Plague came forward here. He got a little bit of damage on Hot Shot, but then Hot Shot made up for not achieving much all game. He turned around and very casually got a critical hit here on Skyscraper with his weapon loaded with incendiary rounds. So it wasn't enough to necessarily destroy Skyscraper through doing damage, but the incendiary rounds mean that it does extra heat to the target when it hits, and Skyscraper was already on 7 heat out of his maximum 8, so that meant Skyscraper was destroyed. He overheated, he took the extra heat from the incendiary rounds, and yet somehow miraculously did not explode. Rolled a 1 on the explode check and just collapsed without exploding. But if he had exploded, there is a chance then he would have done more damage to Plague here. So Plague here very narrowly avoided sort of an indirect death by explosion, and Hot Shot very almost got a 2-for-1 kill here, which would have been really something. Yeah, would have been pretty great. And then Cascade didn't do much. He was running really high on heat, so he just purged heat. Got super low roll though, so didn't purge much heat at all. So just kind of sat there in the corner and cooling off. And then this was coming down to it here. So High Five did his boosted disengage, so he gets to move away without taking any hits for free. And they did a second move into the cargo, picked up the cargo, although now he's running really hot. He's on 10 heat out of 12, so if we come to the end of the round and we roll a 6 for the heat check, then he explodes, and we've had that happen in the previous game. If you remember, he got up to 10 heat, rolled a 6 on the heat check at the end, gained went up to 12 heat and then exploded. So there's a lot of things riding here because he was right at the table edge. So if a 6 happened for the heat check, he would explode, and if he survived and XetaCorp wins initiative on the next round, then they're going to win because he's right by the table edge. So we'll see what happened there. And to say, Skyscraper collapsing there, and that's the stats at the end of round 4. So yeah, these turns do definitely get quicker as the game goes on, as more mechs get destroyed. So yeah, we'll see what happens as we went into the final round. Okay, very quick final round. So XetaCorp did get the initiative, and like I said, that meant they won because High Five was right by the table edge. He had the cargo, so all he had to do was take an action to flee, and that was it. He was off the table with the cargo. So XetaCorp undeniably wins. Let's say they're going to escape with the cargo. They end the game with the cargo, so they win. But I thought we'd just play out the rest of the turn anyway, see what happened. So Hot Shot here again, making up for not doing much in the first 3 turns, turned around and again very casually, it felt like, just he finally had his eye in. Just destroyed Plague. He got a critical hit with his medium weapon, did a whole bunch of damage. Plague made none of his armor saves. So yeah, Hot Shot got the 2 kills on XetaCorp there, which was really funny. And then there wasn't really much else to do. Cascade and Sandstorm just kind of again spent the turns purging heat and stuff. There wasn't really much else to do. So that was it. That was the end of round 5. So XetaCorp are the winner after, and that's the final stats to say High Five escaped with the cargo. So XetaCorp win because they had the cargo at the end of the game. So yeah, really interesting game, and I wonder if Desert Fang could have played it differently. I wonder if they were too aggressive and too reckless at the start there, running up and grabbing the cargo straight away, or maybe they tried to go for a different table edge to escape from. Really interesting. I don't know if they should have played a longer, slower game, maybe, of just kind of trying to get damage onto XetaCorp first, and then trying to grab it at the sort of last moment or something like that. So yeah, a lot of ways it could have gone, but it also felt in character for them to rush forward and try and grab it as soon as possible and get that win as quickly as possible. I'm glad it didn't turn out, because it turned into a far more interesting game of this kind of picking up the cargo, having someone then destroyed, and it became very frantic and very exciting, honestly, by the end of it. And I hope you found it interesting as well. MVP of the match, obviously, High Five for that huge double move and then sweeping in and grabbing the cargo. But also I think Skyscraper did really well. He got both those kind of clutch turns where he destroyed the Desert Fang mech who was carrying the cargo, even though it risked him overheating. So yeah, a lot of really exciting moments in the game, and I hope you really enjoyed it. And I hope hope you've really enjoyed all these Flames of Orion battle reports that I've done. I'm probably done with them for now. I might come back and do some more of them later because there's more scenarios that can be done. Obviously, Flames of Orion, it's still in its alpha sort of testing stage, so like rules might get changed, there might be more scenarios. Yeah, a lot that could be done with it. But I really hope you enjoyed this first foray into me doing battle reports. I did really enjoy it, and like kind of working out how to do them, the best way of doing them. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed these videos, and yeah, if you'd like to see more, let me know down below what you think, or if you had any thoughts in particular about this game, this particular battle, or as I say, just Flames of Orion in general. Stick a comment down below and I'll respond to them like I always do. But we'll be back to normal Magic the Gathering content again soon next month, so until then, thanks for watching and listening, and have an amazing day.